miles north of Killarney, in the heart of the Kingdom of Kerry, lies the town of Castleisland. Famous for its fairs, its fountain, and its wide main street, Killarney has in recent years taken on an added significance for followers of motorsport as the hometown of the Castleisland Motorfactors Single Stage Rally. Organised by the Killarney District Motor Club, this event has grown from very small beginnings to become one of the most widely respected single-stage tarmac rallies in the south of Ireland. This year, a record entry of 71 crews assembled to tackle this one-day event. The Woodlands Hotel, a mile from Castleisland town, was rally headquarters. Frank Roberts, you're scrutineer for the day. What will you be looking out for in particular?
Looking out for helmets, and helmets are the most important. Hopefully all the extinguishers are full, and triangle, you know, and generally the car, you know, have a good look over, make sure it is in roadworthy and good condition. Hopefully, the most of that.
Well, there seems to be a lot of confusion still around regarding helmets. Have you any message to send out to drivers regarding your attitude to the helmets and the present regulations on helmets?
Well, I'm very surprised, like some of the drivers, if they probably don't read their rigs properly, but for the last several months, 77 has been enforced by the RAC, and I can't see why they can't accept this.
So the message from you is that come with the right helmet, or you just won't get through in Killarney. Is that the story?
That's the story, yeah. If you don't have the right helmet or the right extinguisher, you go home. You know, it's just, you have the right helmet, you go and have a good drive for yourself, or else forget it and go home.
Eddie Marouk from Cork, this is your first visit to a rally here by the Killarney Club. Are you looking forward to a good drive?
I am actually, you know, I visited last year, but I wasn't in it. I was doing a service for Jared, but this was the first time, so hoping to do very well in it.
Yeah, and your car is a 1600 Sunbeam. Who is it prepared by?
Myself and Jared and Steve.
And you've done quite a bit of rallying since you came to Ireland. What have your best results so far been?
Halton last year. It was very good. We came 5th.
So presumably you'll be doing the Halton again this year, and possibly after that the Rally of the Lakes in Killarney in December.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you, and best of luck for today.
Thanks.
Jared O'Reilly from Ballincollig, you're a long time rally man, but I think this is one of your first visits to this event here, is it?
We came last year. We had some problems with valves, unfortunately, and we didn't go too well, but hopefully this year we'll improve.
And you're back again riding 1293 Mini, which is the car you were always associated with after a few years in Simca's. It seems to be that Mini is your favourite car.
Yeah, well, you know, people were telling us that the Mini was finished and dead and so forth, but, you know, we kind of had to prove a point, and we went from the Simca, which was, we found very unreliable, difficult to get parts for. We went into Talbot Sunbeam, did 2 or 3 events in that, but, you know, we got back and we built a Mini, and we've been quite happy with it. We've had some very good class results in it. It's been very reliable, and hopefully over the winter we're going to build another more competitive Mini.
Nola Sullivan, running at number 21 today in the Killarney Town Gym Datsun. You seem to have got great service from these Datsuns over the past number of years. Are you happy with the car today?
I am, yeah, Michael. They're a very good car. I find it very good anyway, and for small CC, you have great power, I suppose, if you like them too.
Well, I suppose you have a combination of power and a lack of weight, and that leads to a very competitive car. You were, of course, riding in Minis and Angles and various other cars for many years, and in fact, before that, you were involved with motorcycles. You have long years of experience. How do you think you'll stand up to the 1300 boys today?
I don't know. The class is very full today again. You wouldn't know. We'll be trying hard anyway. We go as fast as our car can go, I suppose. That's the only thing I can say, really.
And of course, you're running for the first time ever on racers today. How do you think you'll cope with the change of rubber?
That's right, yeah. I find the small with a different side in them. They're a bit harder to drive, and the steer is a bit funny, like, but the rest I wish I could do so after a couple of miles, that's it. With a bit of luck anyway.
Okay then, Noel, we look forward to seeing your results in the evening, and the best of luck to you. Okay, Donny Horn from Tralee, driving the revolutionary 1600 BDA back-wheel drive Fiesta. Are you still happy that that car can handle the 2-litre Escorts here today?
I'm sure it will, yeah. We're always confident.
Yeah, and in fact this car first appeared in the Rally of the Lakes last year, where you had an excellent 9th overall, and you went on to a very good result also in the West Cork. Have you any plans for changing the car, or do you hope to hold on to it for the coming year?
Well, I was planning maybe to change it, but then again, what you get that will do as good a job as it, because we've proved in the Circuit of Kerry that she's as fast as any of them, in given the right circumstances and that, given the right tarmac stages. You know, if they're smooth enough, she's as fast as any of them.
I've heard that this car has something of a problem over bumps. This stage is very smooth, so you should be very competitive here today.
Yes, possibly. The bumpy stuff doesn't suit her because she's that little bit short, and when she does bump, she's that little bit harder to handle.
And you're running on
Michelin's.
on
Intermediates at the moment. We may change to dries.
well, the best of luck, Donny, and do we hope to see you out in the Cock 20 or in the Rally of the Lakes?
Well, the Lakes definitely, for about the Cock 20.
Okay, Donny Horton, the best of luck for today. Jimmy Dean from Malone, County Cork. You're hoping presumably for a good result today. How do you reckon your chances are?
Well, I'd say I have a fair chance as anyone else. I think it's fairly slippery out there on the stages, but I think I'll stay in the sticks just to try and balance it fairly even. I done it last year alright. I think you were in as well, weren't you? And it's fairly slippery.
Well, the indications are today that most of the stage, apart from one section, is dry, so presumably you should run well on the slicks. You build all your own engines, of course. What are you running today?
She's 1600 push rod. She's dry sometimes. My brother builds them, you know. She's a good, quick machine. She's one of the quickest push rods around, to be honest about it. So I'd say she should last alright.
So you'll be looking for at least a win in the 1600 class today?
Well, compared, there's BDAs in my class today, you know. And there's a big difference between a BDA and a push rod. But if they get into the overalls, I suppose I should win the class.
Yeah, well, we look forward to a good drive from Jimmy Dean and, indeed, his brother Mike, and the best to look for the day. Paddy Flynn, you're clerk of the course for today's event. Are you happy with the way things are going?
Yeah, I'm very happy. We have a good entry with 71 starters, and I'm very happy with the event. Today's drying, hopefully it'll stay drying, yeah.
Of course, you've been associated with this event over the past few years, and you've seen it grow from a very small entry to today's fine entry. To what do you put down this increase in entry?
I don't know, really. I think we have good trophies, and we probably have good stages, and we run it as fair as we possibly can. And I think that's what we attribute to the big entry.
Yeah, and of course you were in the position today that you actually had to turn away entries from people who didn't show up on time. So the message seems to be from the Killarney Club anyway, is that you have to get your entry in time or no start. Is that the case here today?
Yeah, we made a point like that Thursday night was the closing date, like, and we held to that. We had a few entries yesterday. Pat Kiley and Demi Fitz now were two fairly big names that we refused yesterday, and a couple more last night, like. So we intend in the future to hold to this, that we'll have Thursday night the closing date and no more after that. Like, if I'm to retrain, well, it's that top look like.
Yeah. And you are happy with the condition of the stage today? The stage is dry and...
Yeah, the stage is dry except for one wet patch, alright, where we have a danger sign up, like, but other than that, like, it's a fairly safe stage.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for today and hope that the day goes off without any untoward incidents, and hope for a good result in the evening. Thank you. 1981 winner Joe McSweeney sets about defending his title with his fastest time on the first stage of 6 minutes 51 seconds, followed by Johnny Horton on 6 minutes 54 seconds. Ray Binskin is third fastest on 6:59. Next we have Hugh Toomey in the ex-John Keating RS 1600. Followed by Charlie Hickey of Killarney, who must have the doubtful honour of being the first man to retire just a few more 100 yards into the stage. Killarney Club Chairman Des O'Neill in his 2.3 Chevette HS. Sean Delaney from Glanmire, County Cork in the ex-Demi Fitzgerald RS 1800. Followed by the Dean brothers, Jimmy and Mike from Mallow, County Cork in their 1600 Pushrod Escort. John Joe O'Connor, Shannagolden, County Limerick in a 1700 BDA Mark 1. With fellow Limerick man Paddy Kennedy in his 1800 BDA Mark 2.
Joe Sinan in the ex-Paddy O'Callaghan S3 Isles RS2000. Local driver Dick McCarthy in his recently built RS2000. Followed by Killarney man Jimmy White, also in an RS2000. And a somewhat battered RS2000 of Brendan Savage and Kevin Williams from Tralee. John Scully in the 2-litre Opel Manta. And Pat Sullivan from Kilfinnan, County Limerick. Here we see the first of the Gleeson brother Avengers, driven this time by Pat Gleeson. With Mick Crimmin from Cailkill near Bantry, County Cork, in his 1700 pushrod escorts. Mick Nocton of Innis in the ex-Ger Buckley 1300 BDA escort. Followed by Noel O'Sullivan and Morris Nagle of Killarney in the Killarney Town Gym Datsun 1200. John Lennon from the Clare Motor Club in a 1600 Group 1 Avenger. With Timothy Hamilton, one of the fastest of the 1300 Escort Brigade. And John Murphy from Rockchapel, also in a 1300. Humphrey O'Riordan, one of the Killarney Motorworks sponsored drivers, with Seamus McTiernan in the Tom Ryan car sales escort. And John Murray seems to be in trouble. Michael O'Connor in his Anglie complete with Mercedes grid. A Cock driver all the way from Lebanon, Ellie Marouk. With local man Billy Prindle in the CP Express escort. Gerard O'Leary from Ballincollig, back in a Mini and happy once again. Here we have the second of the Gleeson brother Avengers, this time Pat Kenny. And Pat Murphy, also from Killarney Motor. And the event's main sponsor, Dan Dinnehy, in his first ever event in a 1300 escort. There we saw Tony Fitzgerald in his very colourful Avenger, followed by James Stagg, also in a very colourful escort. Another man who was to retire very soon in this stage, Eddie Murphy. And local driver, Marcus O'Connor, gets it all wrong and ends up with a very bent front suspension. And try as he might, it looks as if he's not going to get much further. Now we have a slight drizzle of rain starting to fall, and many drivers will have started the stage on dry tyres and are finding it very, very difficult into this slippery 95. There we saw Willie Dunworth getting his Datsun 100A very sideways, but getting away with it. Brian Sparling from Cork in County Limerick, a very consistent mini driver over the years. Followed by his neighbour, Joe Dowling, also from County Limerick. John Rice of Rice's Garage, Tralee, well-known British Leyland dealers in the ex-Con Randall's car. And if Willie Dunworth can get it sideways, then Dennis Cronin shows us that he can get it completely around. Dennis from Ballylickey near Bantry in County Cork has been rallying only for less than 12 months, but is fast, spectacular, and a lot of people think will go a long way. Here we have Penny Arbuthnot and Sandra Drew all the way from Waterford. And they are 1600 in Sunbeam. John O'Leary, his Fiat 128. Followed by Dennis Lawler in the Toyota Celica ST. You're here today servicing Gerard O'Leary from Ballincollig. Gerard has always, of course, been a mini-man, but in the past number of years we've seen him in a Simca among other cars. How do you feel about today's car?
Well, I think Gerard is a mini-man, so as regards he's a bit suited to a mini, I think. He's a mini-man down to years, really. The Simca was any kind of what the mini has been thought of, I suppose.
And the car is 1275 or 99?
1293, yeah.
So you're looking forward to a good result in Class 1 today? Class 2, sorry, in Class 2 today.
Well, we hope that Gerald will go well and hoping for the best, like. Trouble-free run we hope.
Okay, the best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Stage 2 and rally leader Joe McSweeney goes through in 6:56. Donny Horton sets about hauling him in and sets the fastest time of 6:51. And he's followed by Ray Binskin on 7:02. Hugh Toomey very tidy through the muddy section. Daisy O'Neill safely around the bend, followed by Sean Delaney having a very consistent drive. Mike Dean, fourth fastest on this stage on 7:04. Shanna Golden and John Joe O'Connor. Paddy Kennedy, one of his first outings in this new 1800. Joe Sinan, S3 Fuels, RS2000. Local man Dick McCarthy cautiously through the mud. And Jimmy White a bit more sideways and throws more mud. John Scully in the Opel Manta 2 litre. And Mick Knockton with Castleisland winners 1300 BDAS. And next Ger Buckley shell fitted with the next Joe McHale engine. The milkman Pat Sullivan from Kilfinnan. Followed by Pat Gleeson and the Gleeson Brothers Avenger, 1600. And Pat Kenny and the other Gleeson Brothers Avenger gets it very, very wrong. Pat seems to have lost it on the mud and gone straight across into a very solid concrete wall. Mick and Teresa Timmins from Bantry, County Cork. 1700 Escort in the 2 litre class. John Lennon in a very fast 1600 Group 1 Avenger, and from Innis, County Clare. And Nola Sullivan and Morris Nagel from Killarney, the 1200 Datsun, competing in the 1300 Class 2. Timothy Hamilton from Dromina. And Ger Murphy from Rockchapel. Both very fast 1300 Escort. And it looks as if Pat Kenny is on the way again. Minus the bonnet and with a very bent of injured, but he's away and he's on his way. James McTiernan from Innis, one of the many members of the Kerry Motor Club here today. Humphrey O'Riordan from Killarney Motor Works, one of the 3 Killarney Motor Works sponsored crews competing today. Eddie Marouk from Cork in his 1600 Sunbeam. And Michael O'Connor in the Anglie, complete with Mercedes grill and 1600 pushrod engine. Very friendly local man from Castleisland in the CP Express Escort. Gerard O'Leary, still going very well, 12.75 minutes. Gerard, of course, a car sales business in Ballincollig, County Cork. The third of the Killarney Motor Works crews, Pat Murphy. Followed by Dan Dennehy of Castleisland Motor Factory. Dan in a 1300 Escort in his very first event ever. And there we have James J. Stack, another of the County Cork crew here. But he seems to have slight braking problems, but he's underway and there doesn't seem to be any damage to his Escort. John Fitzgerald, very well prepared, very colourful and very neat.
Right alongside Pat Kenny went off. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, as Michael, would say, I think he was giving it a bit too much tick at the time, and he came pretty close to me, blooded out the pillar, but fortunately I was on the right side of it, which just goes to emphasise like that safe spectating is an art.
And now we come to a man whose sponsorship association goes back even longer than Andrews Heat for Hire and Russell Brooks, and that takes some beating. Glenside Homes have been associated with Ray Benskin for very many years, and we're happy to welcome Ray here today. How do you rate your chances today, Ray?
Oh well, I'm going to drive as hard as I can and do the best I can.
This is your first time ever doing this particular event?
Yeah, it is.
And of course, a few Sundays ago, you were second overall in your sponsors event down in Ballycotton, the Glenside Homes.
That's right, yeah. Had a great run there again.
Were you surprised to see Johnny Keating showing up?
I was. I didn't think he'd turn up actually.
Yeah, well, very few people I think expected to see Johnny, and I think a lot of people were looking forward to a win from Ray. But a win from Ray is clearly on the cards here today as one of the most experienced drivers in the field, and now driving, after many years with a pushrod, driving a 1600 BDA Escort.
That's right.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we welcome you once again to the event. Thank you. McTiernan, you're a member of the newly formed Clare Club, and you're one of their many representatives here today. How do you rate your chances?
Well, I don't know really. We'll do our best anyway. There's a fairly good opposition. We've never driven in Kerry before, so we'll just go as hard as we can and try and keep it in the ditches.
Delaney from Glanmire, County Cork. This is your first visit to this event. How are you looking forward to the day?
I'm looking forward very much. If the roads are dry, we'll have a good rally, and we're hoping we'll do really good in it.
You're driving, of course, the ex-Dimmy Fitzgerald BDA, and you've had quite a run of success with it since you first acquired it a few months ago. Is the car still living up to your expectations?
It is, yeah. The car's going fantastic. We had a great spin last week in the Stone Throws. We're first in our class again. So we're picking up first in the class nearly every Sunday we go.
And are you contending in the Munster Championship? Are you in serious contention for it, or do you intend to do the remaining rounds?
No, I didn't enter for the Munster Championship at all. I should have, because if I did, I'd be well up in it now.
And I suppose we'll see you out in the Cork 20?
Doubtful.
Or after that in the Rally of the Lakes?
The Rally of the Lakes is next night, sir.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you there, and we wish you the best of luck for today. Thank you. John Scully from Beaufort, one of the two Scully brothers from Beaufort, County Kerry. You've always been an Opel man, and are you satisfied with your car today?
Very satisfied, Mike. I think the Opel is a very good car, and it has never left me down in any rally that I was ever out in, except I hit it off a ditch or something. That's the only thing that stopped me going.
You're running in the very competitive 2-litre class, of course, but if any of these 2-litre boys go into the overall, then you're quite in contention for a class win.
I hope so, yeah, Mike. I hope to do well today. I'll do my best today and see how it goes.
And what tyres are you running on today?
I'm using racing tyres today that I bought off Joe Buckley there a couple of months ago, and they're cut for the weight. They're dry tyres and they're cut for the weight. So see how they go. I had them down in the Secretary Carrier, and I thought they were fantastic tyres altogether. So,
well, the best of luck today, and we look forward to seeing you still in one piece in the evening.
And dry roads once again on a very determined Just Wheels at a time of 6:37. But Johnny Horn was through in 6:36, 1 second faster. Rebinskin is on 6:46, in fourth fastest on this stage. There's O'Neill very wide through the last bend. And Jimmy Dean really pulling out all the stops. Third fastest on this stage on 6:45. John Joe O'Connor in a very healthy sounding car. And Paddy Kennedy having a very clean, consistent drive. Jimmy White and Mike O'Leary from Killarney again very wide through the exit of the bend. And Hugh Toomey with Dan Jones navigating. Dan making a comeback to the sport after many years out of it. And Dan, of course, was a very fast and very spectacular driver in his own right. The local crew, Dick McCarthy, certainly should know this stage very well. Nick Nocton of Innis goes through, followed by John Scully. Pat Sullivan and Pat Gleason. The only surviving Gleason Avenger, Pat Kenny, of course, having retired earlier following his off. Mick Cremen and John Lerner. John is CIE bus driver from Innis, County Clare, and a very fast, consistent driver with a lot of experience. Timothy Hamilton from Dromina in his 1300 Dean built Escort, closely followed by his competitor in the 1300 class, Jermot. Seamus McTiernan from County Clare and Ella Marouk from Cork. Pat Murphy from Killarney, another 1300 Escort. The Mini of Gerard O'Leary car sales Mini going very well. John Murray, who we saw in trouble earlier, seems to have got going again, but must be well down on time. O'Connell's Escort still motoring on. James Stack from Rockchapel.
John Tracy, you're a local man here. How are you enjoying the rally?
Pretty good.
Do you consider the cars here as quick as what you'd see in any of the normal stage rallies?
I suppose first 9 or 10 years. I know what the rest of them.
Do you actually live on the stage, or are you from Castleisland?
I'm from Castleisland town.
And of course you have a couple of representatives from Castleisland, you Billy Prindiville today, and Dick McCarthy, and a few more.
Good drivers. So yeah.
John Anthony Fitzgerald, Willie Dunworth to the Jackson 100A. And Noel O'Sullivan takes a sudden liking to the hedges.
Can you get in?
Plenty of help on hand. Noel, of course, lost time on an earlier stage when he bent the drive shaft and must be running well down in the class at this stage. There seems to be very little damage, but the Datsun is well off the road. And they're off. Joe Dowling, one of the two minis from Croke in County Limerick. The other, of course, Brian Sparling. The only lady competitor here today, quite capable of winning her class even if there were opposition. John O'Leary down in a car that we very seldom see in rallying, a Fiat 128. Dennis Lawler from Artcraft, formerly a Nangley driver, now rallying a Toyota Celica ST. Works of course for Kelleher's Garage in Tralee, the main Toyota dealers in Tralee. On to stage 4. Joe McSweeney goes through bend very close to the finish. 3 seconds to make up on Donny Horing, but leaving the bridge there, he seems to have some sort of trouble. Donny goes through, going very well. It looks as if Joe McSweeney, in fact, has broken half shaft leaving. Ray Benskin, smoking a little, but still going very well. Choose whom he's going through there, on his way. There's O'Neill, Class 4 winner. Mick Nocton. Jimmy Dean, winner in Class 3. John Joe O'Connor, 4th in Class 4. Jimmy White. And Dick McCaffrey. Both Class 4 contenders, but both out of the top placings in this event. And so we come to the overall result. First, by a very close margin, Johnny Horton and Paul Cancanon in the Fiesta 1600. Second, Joe McSweeney and Dan Lane in the 2-litre Escort. In Class 4, Des O'Neill and Richard Fitzgerald, Chevette HSR. Second, Sean Delaney from Glanmire in the 2-litre Escort. Third, Pat Sullivan, 2-litre Escort. And fourth, J.J. O'Connor from Shannagolden in the 1800 Escort BDA. In Class 3, it was Mike and Jimmy Dean in the 1600 Pushrod Escort, ahead of Ray Benskin in the 1600 BDA, followed by Hugh Toomey, RS 1600, and John Lernhen upholding the honours of the Clare Motor Club in 4th place. Class 2, Pat Gleeson, the 1300 Avenger, followed by Timothy Hamilton, 1300 Escort, Ger Murphy, Escort 1300, and Johnny O'Leary in the Fiat 1 to 8. In Class 1, Brian Sparling, followed by Joe Dowling, third Willie Dunworth, and there were only 3 finishers in this class. The novice award went to Dennis Cronin and John Coakley from Ballylicky in their 1600 at Escott, and the ladies award to the only lady contenders, Penny Arbonnet and Sandra Drew from Waterford. Only a numbers